Now, I'm not a professional critic, but Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is good. Really good. One of the things that has always worried me from seeing the comments was the roster. The roster was going to be horrible. Everything was going to be horrible. Just go back to MVC 3. A game that I had a bad history with. So we'll go ahead and get little biases out of the way. And I'll tell that story at the end. So let's talk about the actual gameplay. You can see the gameplay in the background. A note that the software I was using caused a bit of a lag spike. That's actually not naturally in the game. I just don't know how to properly optimize OBS. So if you can take a look here, you can definitely see the flow and combat style. They changed the special button to light kick, heavy kick. It's a light punch, heavy punch, light kick, heavy kick, rather than light, medium, heavy, or in special. They changed it up from the last game. They added infinity stones, and let's get right into why I believe this game is really good. In my opinion, the best fighting games have 3 elements: lots of content, a good tutorial, and tight, excellent gameplay. I also like a roster of 10 or more characters, but that's neither here nor there. Dive Kick has about that much. So as you can see from here, there's a really good tutorial system, and it really helps. One of the things I found challenging was I did not find a tutorial in UMVC3. That might be because I'm stupid or something else. It's been a while, but in any case, the tutorial system works great, and it works just like the mission mode. The mission mode is actually a lot more forgiving than the mission mode in UMVC3, meaning that an automatic whiff or a different kick, if it's still in the same combo, won't mess it up entirely. You can still use different combos and continue on the mission to keep it, as long as you keep it going. If you don't, then obviously you lose the whole set. It teaches you very well. Combos, throws, that sort of stuff is really important. But where this game really stands out is in its gameplay, its tight focus mechanics, and the 2 things I like a lot. My favorite thing would be the active switch. The active switch, as you can see here, is that you're getting an automatic switch rather than previous games of yourself jumping right in as you do if one of your players dies. Now, if you were to activate this during a combo, you could actually continue on the combo with the same person easily, or at the end of the combo, you can combo into a second one or use an ultimate. It's a really great system that really works well with everything. On top of that, with the light punch, heavy punch, they've introduced the down heavy punch as starting combo mechanic that came up, I believe, previous while ago, and has continued to work well since, rather than just the special for that. Included in that, the moves are a lot easier. On top of that, each character feels specifically distinct, as opposed from some games where some of them felt like repeats or betters. Each one has their own feel, and each one, despite maybe the provincial or the tier list that's out right now, it's not an official one, it's not completely confirmed, it's just, I guess, temporary, at least until they get a full one. But each character feels like they can hold their own, especially in battle. Each playstyle feels good. Special moves are really good. Some of them are better than others, and some of the specials are better than others, and you just have to figure out your style. On top of that, the new Infinity Stone system is another thing I like a lot. This system introduces several of the Infinity Stones as playable. These are an extra tactical that take the place of assists, which assists are great, but these are really cool because they add on to combos, and it's an important gameplay distinction that actually makes the game feel new and really tight. Some of them are projectiles, some of them will launch you, some of them are actually dodges that will put you in teleports. It's a very important thing, and on top of that, you can activate the Infinity Storm, which will allow your character to go into a certain mode that'll allow you to actually power up your hits by increasing power or increasing combo ability, increasing regeneration rate for your powers, as well as different other things such as capturing an opponent in a tiny box, such as the Space Stone. These are all important things that really make the game what it is. And now I'd like to talk about the roster. The roster, while noticeably smaller, does have a lot of good familiar faces as well as a lot of really good stuff. For me, I really like the Marvel side. The Marvel side is fantastic. The exclusion of X-Men and Fantastic Four is a little bit unforeseen circumstances, but as a Black Panther fan, I'm happy because the DLC coming out soon. The Marvel side, like I said, is very good. Capcom side does have a lot of good faces as well as some new ones that I might not have recognized. It's nice to see Mega Man back. They've done well, including his character and characters in the series, and it's been, despite the smaller size, it feels like it's well-rounded, well-executed, and it doesn't feel like anything's really missing. That being said, I would have liked the X-Men. I would have liked the Fantastic Four. I would have liked more Capcom characters as well, but for the time being, this is good. It's not necessarily a drawback completely, and it's not a deal breaker for me. The story mode is a welcome conclusion along with all the mission modes. This gives extra depth and content to something that really did need it. The last game was great for practicing, but having a story mode is always really fun, especially in a Capcom game. You know it's going to be cheesy, but I enjoy the cheese. At some points in time, there's going to be plot holes, some weird stuff going on with the story that I didn't particularly like. It was cheesy, but hey, I mean, it's kind of a giant fanfic, so you can't really go into it expecting, high definition story. That being said, voice acting is really good. They brought in some... And despite all that, having a story mode does make it kind of feel like a more complete experience, even though some people have pressed it by. It doesn't feel as empty and void as Street Fighter V looked upon launch and release. This is full, complete release, despite DLC characters being missing but previously announced. It makes me feel better, and because, let me finally get to the point. A quick side note that will definitely tell you a lot about me. When I first got Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I had played 2 a lot. I got 3, played the hell out of it, but fortunately I think I got Marvel vs. Capcom 3 way too late, because about just after the period where you could return it at GameStop where I had got it at the time, they announced Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, completely ridding my hopes of any DLC characters, which was annoying to say the least and infuriating to say the most. At which time I had a big problem with Capcom for a long time, the only exception being Dead Rising, because that is one of my favorite games of all time. But for a long time it did leave me very sore in the throat, and having a season pass actually makes me feel pretty good, and the fact that characters are announced makes me feel even better, because it does show like they're having plans. And though people don't like the fact that characters are so spread out for Street Fighter V, it actually makes me feel really good, because it makes me feel like Capcom's going to stay on top of this rather than they did with the original Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It really helps to know that, and despite everything, there's a lot going on here, and I'd like to go ahead and give it a rating. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I only give out of 5. I don't give any 0.5s because I feel like this is defeating the purpose. But 4 out of 5. Roster, obviously, there's some missing pieces there. Definitely, DLC season pass, but there's no microtransactions. There's no content that's been cut off from previous date other than maybe a couple characters, but it seems like they're still fine-tuning them and getting ready to patching. Matchmaking feels great. Didn't get a real chance to talk about that, but matchmaking's great. The only problems I have specifically with the game are the are specific things. Matchmaking has some problems with auto combos and easy hyper combos, something that should be turned off in tournaments, because I don't feel like it's challenging. I feel like it's too easy, gives people an easy way, and I feel like people who do know their stuff, it's really easy when you're starting out and still getting all the combos down to get outplayed by someone using easy auto combos. That's something they should definitely take care of, and restricting it regarding ranked systems and having different tournament styles and different ranked systems for people using those systems, those option settings. And that's just a small personal thing. I don't want to sound like a dick about it, but I'd rather have that out. But there are other games that have it. It's not a deal breaker. Like I said, roster does feel small, stuff left out. Definitely can feel that. I do like the lineup. I really like the lineup, though. That being said, I do love all the Marvel characters in there. A huge fan of Captain Marvel and Ultron, as you saw. Some of the redesigns are really good. The art style also is a big negative. Art style looks crap. Well, it doesn't look crap. It looks good, but definitely has a lot of flaws to it. It looks okay. It has a lot of flaws, like I said, but I do like some of the character designs. I just don't like some of the Capcom character designs. Chun-Li is taking a blow. Some of the other characters have also taken a blow as far as the face and chin features. But that being said, 4 out of 5. Good game. Go buy it. It's a great fighting game. It's competitive ready. And as far as competitive status, I think with a few tweaks, it'll come out on top. So I'll go ahead and also give this game a competitive rating. I'm going to go ahead and just put this out there. Let's see. I'll give these in 10s, so this will be 9 out of 10 for competitive. All right. Well, that's it. See ya.